Ladies and gentlemen, she also has the greatest intro music in all of our country. Ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen, Selena DeJesus. Hi, Saul. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
It's an
Yep.
absolute joy and a pleasure. And I'm not just saying that because it's on the teleprompter. But what I can tell you is you are so much fun to watch, leading off the majority of the time, kind of setting the table for the Raiders to be in that on that stage and have that bright light shining down on you seemingly every time you take the field. What is that like? And how do you keep your composure?
Well, I'm a very competitive person, and so I'm used to being, and obviously, you guys both know my dad. I take a lot from my dad when it comes to being pumped up and during the game. So I'm pretty I'm pretty calm when it comes to stuff like that. I love performing. It's what I love to do. So I'm usually like I just have to take deep breaths and focus on I focus on getting my team pumped up usually. I love to cheer in the dugouts and cheer on my teammates when they're up to bat. So it's pretty easy.
Everything for you seems to come pretty easy. Let's just be honest. The way you make it look. DJ teed it up at the intro. You're pitching so well this year in the circle, and probably a season where maybe you didn't expect to have the responsibilities of pitching as much as you do this year. But Coach DeRose has trusted you in there, and you've stepped up. Talk about what it's been like this year to kind of an impromptu pitching season where you're having a lot of success.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we all assumed that Jaylee was going to be the starter, but she had some issues with her arms, and we all wish that she could have been in the on the mound. But I had to step up, and so did Ashley Rupert. I mean, she's also been doing a fantastic job pitching, also, and so it's been pretty nice being able to do what I love while also supporting my team.
Sorry, they brought my car back.
It's
Uh,
okay.
so I think the other thing is for me is you are the ultimate teammate. I mean, the people talk about how great we talk about how great you are on the field, but you have been such a good team, even with the answers about you wishing Jaylee could be in that circle, you wishing that these seniors could have had a better year, a year like they had like you all had last year. What is it about? I mean, how do you do that? I mean, you're such a young lady. You have so much to learn, but you've already learned so much. Who's taught you how to be such a good teammate along the way?
Well, I'd probably say it's all been because of my dad and also my pitching and hitting coach, Aaron Gabriel. They've both always taught me to be respectful, on and off the mound and on and off the field in general, and just always hype your teammates up before you hype up yourself. Because I mean, if your teammates succeed, then you're also succeeding in some way. And so I love supporting my girls. I mean, we've all been playing together since we were 5 years old. So it comes pretty naturally to be able to just cheer for them. And I love setting a good example for the underclassmen on the team. Even though we only have a couple, it's mostly juniors on our varsity squad. But I love being able to set that example and show them how softball is supposed to be played.
Selena, your pitching instructor is probably one of the best softball players that has come through the area, especially pitchers. You get the blessing to go to her every week and talk about what you're doing and how what's working, what's not working. What kind of blessing is that for you to be able to just pick the brain of Aaron Gabriel and to be able to have her as a coach in the circle?
It's absolutely wonderful. I mean, Erin is one of the kindest and smartest, like softball wise person I've ever met in my entire life. And she helps me not only with like the physical aspects of softball, but also the mental aspects. I mean, for her, the mental game is very, very important, and she helps me with that a lot. So it's really great to go in there every Sunday and say, hey, if I'm struggling like with something hitting wise, she knows exactly what I'm doing with basically showing her one swing. So it's pretty great.
You've already mentioned twice during this short interview so far, but I want to talk about your dad and his his composure, right? Very similar to yours. But the one thing that I appreciate more so about your dad than most people that I come across is he's always got a way to spin things in a positive light. Do you
Mhm.
take that from him, from a standpoint of like the character that he has, because you seem to do the same thing. And is that contagious? Is it something that all the DeJesuses have, that you guys always kind of take that adversity and spin it into a positive, even though the outcome isn't necessarily what you envision?
I mean, I'd like to think so that I get it from my dad. He always likes to say that in our family, things always work out for us. That's what he always likes to tell me. I mean, even if it's not the way that I wanted, things will somehow always work out to become a positive. And I like how you said that, because he tells me that all the time. And usually he just says, like, it's in our family. So I'd like to think that I get that from him.
The other thing about your dad is he is loud and proud during the games. How much do you hear him when you're out there?
Oh, I hear him all the time. I swear his voice comes to me in my nightmares. He's always been my number one supporter. And I think that's really great, because I know I always have someone cheering me on very loudly from the stands, but it's really great.
Now, he's your number one supporter. Who is your harshest critic?
My harshest critic, I'd probably say it's myself. I mean, like, I love, like, the mental aspect of the game, and I always try to spin the positive like my dad does. But, I mean, sometimes I do get down on myself, and I feel like that happens to every player. But I always try to get out of it as quick as I can if I'm ever saying, like, oh, I can't hit. I mean, if you say you can't, it's not going to happen.
Talking about grinding through the adversity of this sport, this team has had to grind through some adversity. It hasn't looked at all the time like the South Range that we're used to, but every time you seem to go into a little bit of a down spot as a team, you rise right back up out of it, and then it's like, oh, this is the South Range we all know and love. Talk about this team's kind of tenacity and adversity, and how much they've been able to kind of punch through some of the downs of the season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the season started off not at all what we were expecting. I mean, we went through a lot of adversity, like you said, with injuries and just not necessarily not working well together as a team, but we weren't coming together very well. And obviously we had two girls tear their ACLs. I mean, Kira and Addie, which we both wish were playing on the fields with us right now, but they can't. And Jaylee started having issues with her arm, so she couldn't pitch. But I think there's been a lot of girls that have really stepped up on this team that didn't get as much recognition last year as they should be getting this year. Specifically, like I already mentioned, Ashley Rupert has been doing phenomenal on the mound. And Mud Brogan, she's our little freshman, and she's brought a huge bat onto the varsity squad, and I think she's doing great. So we've had people fill their positions, which we wish they were with us, but we brought it back together.
What's the cheer you had in the dugout the other day? That's our freshie.
Yeah,
is that what was going on?
Bombs. What can we say?
And bomb it was. I mean, she
Bomb.
absolutely nuked that softball. It had no chance. One of the things, I mean, about the adversity, and not a whole lot of people know. They know kind of the outskirts and maybe the synopsis of the story. But the injury that you ladies faced and the coaching staff faced early on in this season, one particular injury that I want to talk about, because I know it's close to your heart, your best, Addie Wardle, having that injury and the devastation, because everybody talks about how junior year is huge in recruiting and planning for your future. What was it like to have those conversations with Addie along the way when that injury happened? I know it was devastating to her, but it seemed like you were kind of, again, the bright spot that kind of helped her through it and let her know that everything was going to be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually there when she tore her ACL. We were playing on the same field. We were playing at athletics, and just the look on her face was, I'll never forget it. It was awful, but I really like to think that I've helped her like come through this injury. And I mean, she's my best friend in the entire world, and I really wish that we were playing together right now. And we didn't even get to start our junior season together, but I know she'll be back and better than ever next year for our final season. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I do really miss her a lot, but I think she's doing well right now. She loves cheering on the rest of the girls in the dugout, and she's very loud, so we can always hear her. But I like to think that I helped her a lot through what she was going through.
Yeah, and all these players that have been dealing with injuries, they're still there and they still have a presence in the dugout. What has it meant to this team to have still, Kira Brogan, she's starting to come back in the lineup, but in the times when she wasn't, you still had that kind of leadership in the dugout. You still had Addison Wardle leadership in the dugout. How much do you think you guys leaned on that to get through these tough times that we've been talking about earlier?
Well, Kira, since she was always in the dugout, she's always the person that I go to when I look for advice, hitting wise, because she's got one of the best bats that I know. And so knowing that she was always there watching and I could come to her and be like, what just happened? She would always be able to tell me what I did wrong or tell me to get out of my head and just hit the ball. And so I think that's really helped a lot. And not only for me, but I think for the rest of the girls on the team, specifically her sister, Mud, coming up as a freshman. I think having her sister there helped calm her nerves at the beginning of the season, as starting a freshman on varsity it's a crazy feat, but she did really well. And having Addie still there in the dugout cheering me on is all I could ask for.
So one of the things that I'm most impressed about you and your makeup is the way that you communicate. I don't want to say you over communicate because there's no such thing, but you make sure that you're telling the next person up, if you get out, what you're seeing, assuming what you're talking to. And maybe you're telling them the answers on the chemistry quiz the next day. I have no idea. I'm just assuming. And we all know what that means. But why is it so important for you to communicate wherever you are, whether it's in the circle, whether it's in center field, or whether it's in the box, communicating with your teammates and your coaches?
Well, I think personally, communication, besides the mental game, I think communication is one of the most important things in softball, because if you don't communicate, then you're not going to win games. And so I like to say I have a really big mouth. So, I've always been communicating since I was little. That runs in my family. Puerto Ricans are loud, very loud. So I always want to make sure, especially if I ground out, and I see a couple pitches, I go up to the next person, which is usually Gabby, and I go, here's what I saw, here's what you can hit. And so I always make sure that I'm helping out my teammates in any way that I can. And mostly it's communication, especially in the outfield. We have to communicate or else balls are just going to be dropped left and right. So I think we do a really good job of that. And Giada and Riley, which are my left and right fielders, they always compliment me and thank you so much for your help in the outfield. I'm like, it's just what I do. It just comes naturally.
You have the loudest and best walk-up song in the area, in the whole world. Tell us the story behind it. How'd you pick it?
So at the beginning of the year, I actually didn't know what I wanted my walk-up song to be. And I thought I was going to be something like Kendrick Lamar related. I want to do something by him because he's one of my favorite artists. And I was actually saving this song, Vivir Mi Vida, for my senior year, because it's one of my favorite songs and I hear it at almost every family gathering. It's always on. And so I always thought of it as my song. But it's actually all thanks to Addie Wardle, because after her ACL tear and she missed out on she's missing out on her entire junior season. And so I thought back and I'm like, wow, what if that happens to me next year? I can't just wait and keep saving this song because you never know what's going to happen. And so I thought I'd use it this year, because a little bit to honor her and a little bit for my family.
We all love it. There's no doubt about it. I have to say something every time it comes on. But if you're saving a song, just hear me out. Saving a song for senior year, the Baja Man and Who Let the Dogs Out is always a banger. Okay, you're gonna have every youth in that place just going bananas, because my 3-year-old and my 7-year-old cannot stop listening to Who Let the Dogs Out. So if you're looking for something that makes the people go wild, there's a little nugget for you. Okay.
Okay, I might have to put that on my list then.
It's been seared in DJ's head. Don't do it.
I was completely joking. That is completely tongue-in-cheek. Don't do it ever. You have the best intro walk-up song there is. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
My final question for you. You talked about your heritage. You talked about, kind of your background. Why is your family so incredibly important to you? You guys are closer than most. Why is it that it means so much to see your family in the stands, to see your dad loudly cheering for you? And how has it made it you the young lady that you are today?
Well, I really love my family, and I have a very big family considering most. And sorry, um, sorry, that was Mr. Farron. Um,
Way to go,
I
Donnie.
The way
I
I go.
think my family is really important to me because I have such a big family, and we've always shown up for all of my cousins, all of my aunts and uncles. They've always been there supporting each other. And so I've just always grown up around that. And I've always considered family a big, important part of my life because we're all so close knit. And I think that comes along with my heritage. I mean, Puerto Ricans usually have a very big family, and we all usually take care of each other in that aspect. So I think that's why my family is so important to me, especially because my parents have always been there at everything. They've never missed anything that I do, from show choir to plays that I did to softball to volleyball, anything. They were always there cheering me on. So I think that's why it's really important to me.
My last question for you: on senior day, we saw the seniors bring their dad in for one last catch. So I want to know, like, how much do you get the chance to still play catch with your dad, and what's it going to be like next year if you get that opportunity to kind of bring him on the field and have one more catch with him?
Well, that was actually my idea because I that was my idea because I saw a TikTok, and it was the dads playing catch with their daughters for the last time on senior night, and I was like, this is a fantastic idea. I mean, we have to do this because the senior night usually goes the same way every year, and the seniors know what they're expecting, but I knew they weren't going to be expecting something like that because it was new, and so we wanted to surprise them. And I actually get to play catch with my dad a lot because he comes to all my pitching lessons. So we always like start warming up with catch first. So it would be really nice to play catch with him like one last time next year. It'll be really sad and I'll probably be crying, but it would be really nice and touching.
I would like to thank you on behalf of the class of whatever my daughter is at 3 years old, because I'm already starting to tear up thinking about, like, I saw it happen and I was like, oh, my gut hurt so much. So, hey, well done. Thank you for bringing that, and I will call you in about, I don't know, 15 years and say thank you again, because I'll probably be blubbering like an idiot. One more question, because it hit me that we haven't talked nearly enough about these seniors that have meant so much to this program. There's 4 of them. So I usually ask the question of, what character trait would you take from your mom or your dad? I want to ask you, what character trait would you take from each of the seniors, all 4 of them, if you were to carry on something in their honor next year?
Oh wow, that's a really tough question.
Well, that's
First,
what you get for doing the last catch with dad.
I'm
You deserve
sorry.
that one.
First I'll start with Jaylee because I mean she's been my rock, and she's like the big sister that I never had. We have actually been playing together since we were 5 years old. Our first T-ball team we were on the same team. So it was our dads were the coaches, and so we've always been super close. Um, I think the character trait that I take from her is leadership. I think she was really the senior that took charge this season, and she's shown it a lot through her playing. Even though she got hurt and she couldn't pitch, she was still cheering me on in the mound in every at bat. Just anytime I was up, I could hear Jaylee's voice. So I'd say leadership is something I take from her. Um, from Riley and I'll put Riley and Giada both together. Their energy is contagious, especially like their friendship is phenomenal. And so I think I'd like to take their energy as something that I carry on into my senior season, because I will miss them both so much in my outfield. And I yelled at them because they were leaving me alone out there, but I'll definitely try to keep up their energy and the communication, obviously. And for Brooke, I definitely take her determination. I think she loves this sport more, almost as much as anyone that I know, probably besides Addie Wardle. I think Addie Wardle takes the cake for loving softball the most. But I think Brooke really has the determination to do well at every single at bat, every single ball that gets hit to her. And I'd like to take that from her, especially because we got a little closer because we both did show choir this year. And so I got to see her determination on stage too, wanting to get every note or every dance move right. So I'd take that from all four of my seniors.
So I can't thank you for stopping by. And also, please thank Mr. Farron for interrupting one of the best questions I've ever asked on this show. It was so serious. Time I'm more serious one time, and he interrupts it. But no, in all joking aside, thank you so much. Continued success in everything that you do. Live, everything you touch turns to burgundy and gold. And we're so proud of you. Keep up the good work, and let your dad be loud. It's the only he's going now, okay? Let him be loud. Ladies and gentlemen, salute to DeJesus.
Thank you
Thanks
so much
all.
for having me. Bye.
Bye.